Yeah. Keep what?
We're live, ladies and gentlemen, on this
Yeah, I was gonna
Sunday.
keep it.
I see Jenny in the chat.
Thanks,
Yo,
Jenny.
does anyone in this show have pants on? I don't.
I do.
Trent, why are you and Jerry mean mugging in this picture?
I mean, mug every pitcher.
Trent's always mean mugging. It is Sunday, guys, and BTC Backpacker was right once again on a couple of levels. We're going to talk about that today. Never doubt the man with the pack on his back. Speaking of that, how you doing, Backpacker?
Doing great. We're loving it. Loving this dip, bro. I'm loving the dip. Here's the thing. The issue I have is in general. I know we'll get into it, but I think we all like discounts, right? I mean, I know you like a discount. You got some nice shoes, a shirt maybe you want to buy. It's on discount. You're like, hey, I'm going to go grab that. But I don't think everybody likes discounts. We'll get into it. Oh. But it's been a good week. It's been a good week. Productive week. Busy week.
Trent, how are you, sir?
I have been working on my channel nonstop all week.
Yes, you have.
That you have, sir.
You guys didn't put it in the Discord or the Signal. I got you.
I haven't put it anywhere. I'm going to put it on, let's see, copy. We got Jenny here. Jenny says, I love discounts.
She's been
Does
waiting.
this mean there is a lot to unpack, Backpacker?
Oh,
Pun intended.
Pun intended. So, yeah, we had some stuff pop off on the weekend. Trump loves doing stuff on the weekend, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
that's because it doesn't affect the market.
We're gonna talk about a couple things here. We're not gonna get too deep into them, but I just want you to know your overall thoughts on a few things that's going on right now. The couple of hot topics, and also I want you guys to sound off in the chat about a few things. Now, again, I'm not trying to start an argument or nothing like that, but it needs to be talked about.
I'll start it.
And discussed. So let's talk about it real quick. All right. Let's get the elephant out of the room. We're going to talk about Bitcoin first, ladies and gentlemen. And as you guys can see here, as of this recording, we are at the Bitcoin block height of 955,866, which is great. Fanny says, me too. Right now, Bitcoin's price today is $59,407. We're $410 away from 58K. Gang. But that's not the important part, guys. You guys know what the important part is. The important part, for $1, we can get yourself, or you can get yourself 1,682 Satoshis for $1. Or as BTC Backpacker likes to say, 16.82 sats for 1 cent. My goodness, guys. So anyway, Lauren, what's up, brother? Hello, everyone. So I want to know you guys' thoughts real quick on and I'll give you mine after you guys are done. What are you guys' overall thoughts on the whole civil war, what's going on with Bitcoin? Bitcoin Core knots, and also BIP 110. And what's going on with that? What do you I'll let you start off, BTC Backpacker. Hold on 1 second. Scotty, what's up? Hello, is this the right place for Monday morning vibes? For you? Yes, it is, sir. Only for you, though. Whoever wants to start, go ahead. Let me know.
I'm not too tuned into the BIP 110 as much as I am the core versus knots. Like I say on my channel all the time, I'm not the most technical person. I don't get into technicalities. I just don't like reading too far into things. I am a believer that we need to adapt and change as time progresses, as Bitcoin progresses, as new technologies and advancements come out, right? However, the issue I have with Core, especially when they did that discussion panel on stage, I just feel like there's nefarious actors within Core. I don't feel like they could properly articulate themselves when they were asked certain questions, just in general. And I got to respectfully say that, there's people out there that know more about this than me, obviously. But when I hear someone like Matthew Cratter, because I could listen to Cratter, he gives a great explanation. And then when I agree with him because I align with what he said, there's not a lot of stuff he says that I don't align with, to be quite honest. And I circumvent my own thoughts and everything. But in general, Bitcoin is political, not in the sense that we say with politics and like Congress. Bitcoin is becoming its own political spectrum within itself. With core versus knots, the BIP 110, block size wars, all these things, right? Because we all have a consensus stake. Well, anybody who's running a node has a stake or a say in the system. That's basically your voting right. And as far as that goes, if you're not running a node, then you really don't have a say, because you've chosen to basically say that your position in Bitcoin and growth and everything in the ecosystem doesn't matter, because you're allowing other people to do it. But your vote, you can't say anything, can't complain. You got to vote with your, how we say you vote with your pen. You go there, you do it, you get up, you walk in, you vote, you go through that motion. Well, it's the same thing. So most of the people that are complaining about things or say stuff, they're not even running nodes themselves. So first of all, they need to check themselves, because that's fake. Some people don't have a say at all, and that's fine too. Not every Bitcoiner is a Bitcoiner, or everybody's in it for the same reasons people like us are. Some people are in it for number go up. Some people are in it for sovereignty. We're in it for sovereignty. And but I think it's interesting, because we're starting to see the politics within Bitcoin get bigger and bigger and bigger, or it's becoming more and more talked about. So I don't like to overly focus on that stuff, because I feel like, to me, honestly, it's at this point in time, it's a distraction. But I will say that it's important to be in the know, right, Jerry? You know what I'm saying? Like, same thing with the politics and everything. You don't need to be all in it, but you need to know enough. Yeah, I don't know. I think now is the time to do your research, but I also think it's time to understand and just continue to stack, and don't allow the external distractions to push you off of the path you need to go. Because the reality is this stuff is going to happen whether you like it or not. Down the road, there's going to be things we don't even know what to expect that's going to happen within the Bitcoin ecosystem, the Bitcoin politics, the political spectrum within Bitcoin. But once again, just keep on buying no matter what. Don't let any of that influence you, and then just circumvent your own thoughts. But that's the beauty of it. That's the freedom of will and the freedom of everybody to be able to do what they want.
Yes, and Trent, before you answer that question, I want to watch this video real quick. This is Jeff Booth talking about running knots, and then I'll get your thoughts on it on the back end. Trent, he's on Robin Sierra's show talking about it. Let's take a look.
The people defend this network, core versus knots, is an example. And I want to be careful. I'll talk about. So I run knots today. And why I run knots today is because my expectation of core. So what core did with the increasing of up returns and everything else was not the Bitcoin that I want, right? And it felt like it was imposed on me, right? And here's what a small group of people want without and what I would expect in any centralized organization, core to, right? And I'm not going to say bad people, because I traveled with Gloria in Africa. But what I couldn't believe is, and she was a nice person, like really nice person. But what I couldn't believe is she didn't own Bitcoin.
Really?
She didn't own Bitcoin.
That's
she didn't know very much about Bitcoin.
Have you ever noticed?
Now, Gloria is the lady that was one of the people in charge of Bitcoin Core back then, but she left the project. Anyways, Trent, what's your overall thoughts on this? Do you have any? What do you think about this stuff?
So I have always been on the side of it is a talking point that will distract normal people from buying Bitcoin. They'll hear this headline and they'll get scared. It's a scare tactic. They won't invest. They won't do research because they think there's some kind of internal war happening and it's gonna take the whole project down. And honestly, it isn't really affecting anyone from day to day at the moment, at least until there is a hard fork, which I don't see happening. I lived through the what was it, the blockchain wars. I didn't know crap about it when it was happening, and I kind of want to stay that way with this knots versus core thing. I'm just going to keep accumulating. Whoever wins wins. I don't see I don't like what core's doing, but I don't see it affecting my opinion on Bitcoin as a whole.
Now, one thing I will say to that, I agree with you, Trump. I think we're on the same page with that. How it has a negative effect, at least for the normies or the other individuals on the outside looking in, right? The one thing I will say, and I didn't bring this up when I was speaking, was the bloat, was allowing that nonsense on the
Yeah, I don't want that either, but
on the chain. So that's really, if I had to say, give one reason why I'm absolutely against, that party, it's because of that. We're not a Dropbox or a Google Drive or like some Easter egg thing you got to scroll back on the time train to find a message. Like, we're not that. Like, this is money. It's to be treated as money, respected as money, and we don't need to be flooding with nonsense. I think you brought it up the other day, Jerry, talking about I think you were referencing somebody in the chat, and I think it was on your live stream actually. It might have been Gray. If it keeps on growing the size it is now, including whatever else they want to add into it's going to be like some massive terabytes or some astronomical number to get the chain onto a node, like from 15, 20 years from now. It was like some crazy number. And it was just like, why? Because they want to add emojis and GIFs and, heaven forbid, other things that we shall not discuss on here.
Yeah. I come from a little bit of a different approach than you guys. I agree with you, Trent, about the part where you said that it is a lot of noise and a lot of people that don't understand Bitcoin will not quote unquote invest or save or buy Bitcoin because of that, right? But I think honestly, I think that's done on purpose. I think it's a two-pronged thing with what's going on with core. I don't know what's going on with core, honestly. I don't know why they're doing it. I can guess, but it just doesn't make any sense to me to open the op return that much from, the size it was before, from 40 to 80 to, 100,000. It just doesn't make any sense to me, especially when this is our network and we're trying to make it a money. Spaceman, how are you, sir? Fanny, I feel like we haven't talked in forever. Eventually, only somebody with a data center of storage would be able to hold a copy of it and run a node. Yeah. And that was the problem with the block size wars when Bitcoin Jesus came out and he wanted the big blocks back then. The problem is it would be too much of a centralized situation with the nodes because it would just be too much space inside of the blockchain. And to run a node, basically what a lot of people don't understand. I know you guys do, but it's basically just downloading the entire blockchain. And when you have, 60, 70, 80% of the blocks filled with spam and junk and all this stuff that's not money, it's going to start diluting Bitcoin. And then if they have, bad things on the blockchain, that'll mess it up too.
And we're already getting to that point where I was doing some research and I was going to buy a node or build a node, actually, not buy. But the blockchain itself already is over. Well, it's not quite a terabyte, but we're knocking on. It'll be a 2 terabytes probably next year. Well, you'll need a 2 terabyte hard drive to run the node next year. and a 2 terabyte SSD is almost $400. Like, it's putting limitations in multiple places.
Yeah, that's a great point, man. It's exponentially making it harder to download the entire, especially if you run a full node and you download it from January 3rd, 2009. Imagine somebody coming in 2028 or 2032. People like things fast, and it just won't be fast. It took me back in November of 2023 when I first downloaded my node. It took me about a half a day to download it. I have, for full disclosure, I do have a Start 9. I have the 4 terabyte one. And I remember asking the people that helped me do it, I said, how long will this last? How much? They go, oh, the data now, it'll last for years, 15 years. But
No.
now with all this, and this is before they started, talking about opening up the op return, it's going to be bad. And it's not just because of that. It's just the way they're going about it. It's one thing when, and I'm not trying to make arguments with anybody or nothing like that. It's just that I have my entire net worth in this thing. And do I think it can make it go to zero? No, but I do think there are some dangers. Like I always say, the United States of America has two enemies. We have an enemy from within, what the people that are running the Democrat Party, the rhinos, the military industrial complex, and then also you have people from overseas that want to be our enemies. Well, I think Bitcoin has the same thing. We have people that are outside of Bitcoin that want us to stop us, like people that run the Fed, the same people that don't like America and freedom, but also we have people inside of Bitcoin that want to take it down. And I think that's the easiest way to do it. And I just don't like all this stuff going on. Again, I don't live and breathe it, but when you hear a guy like Matthew Crater, who's a pretty sane guy, he's not like this kook, because he's acting crazy right now because people think he's acting crazy because all he keeps talking about is this, and this. But if you actually sit down and listen, and I stopped watching his videos for a while. I'm not going to lie to you, for like a couple of months, because like, man, he keeps talking about the same freaking thing every time. But then I decided to go back and listen to him. And when I really sat down, I did this over like a 4 or 5 day period. I just went and binged him. He's worried about it because he really believes that this is a threat to Bitcoin. And I do too. So I'm not saying I want everybody to worry about it and go crazy about it, but it's something I think that we need to pay attention to before it's too late. Because again, we don't want the blocks to be huge with a bunch of BS in it. When people ask me what Bitcoin is, it's money, and I think we should keep it that way. And the only way we're going to keep it that way is we fight against the network. And again, the way Core is answering questions and their reasoning why they're doing things, it's just not making any sense to me, So I want to watch one more video. This is not Bitcoin Core. This is about BIP 110. This is the second part I'm talking about. First, we talk about Core versus Knots, and then BIP 110. And this is my boy. I played this on my videos the other day. This is George Bodine, and he's talking about running BIP 110. Let's take a look.
Hey, kids. Today I want to address something I've been studying for quite a while, BIP 110. First off, my premise, where I'm coming from, is that Bitcoin is money. It is peer-to-peer electronic cash. And JPEGs of monkeys and pixelated dicks have no place on Bitcoin's blockchain. And that Core should have been fighting this battle for node runners, making it harder and more costly to use the blockchain for non-monetary data. In other words, creating friction and cost to spammers. BIP 110 tightens the rules, limits script pub keys to 33 bytes, caps op return at 83 bytes, bans long contiguous data, and it removes op-if and taproot scripts. Again, my node is not a Dropbox for memes or NFTs that force node runners to maintain for eternity at a cost to future generations who want to spin up a full node.
Ding, 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 ding. For eternity. Because again, it's immutable. Bitcoin is immutable. You cannot erase the block. So what he's saying is every little thing that comes in there that's not money, you can't get rid of it. And the only way we're going to be decentralized, well, there's a lot of ways to be decentralized, but the main way to be decentralized is the ability for a person like me and you and everybody watching this to be able to run a node by yourself, not a centralized node, not these big companies. We already have the miners centralized. Basically, we only have 5 major miners. And if people don't realize this, but node runners, we run the network. The miners work for us. And we have to understand that the only way we can run this network, if we can download the nodes, and we need as many people that are buying Bitcoin into Bitcoin, but also running a full node. Because again, without that, we can't run the network.
Remember, in Bitcoin, nodes dictate the rules, not miners. Miners produce blocks. If those blocks violate node, that's if they're rejected as invalid. I was on the fence about BIP 110. My concerns revolved around the initial proposal. I think it was called 444, and then it morphed into RDTS. And I wanted to study the author of the BIP, Datham Ohm, and I wanted to see how he handled criticism and if there was a willingness to listen and change the BIP. I wanted to know more about the BIP itself and whether it could work. I also wanted to know how it would run in tests. BIP 110 was recently run using mainnet data, about 5 million transactions, 5 million. It filtered 40% of non-monetary transactions. How many legitimate transactions did it block? Zero. It worked with Lightning, CoinJoins, and multisig. I now support BIP 110 fully. I'm running it on my node. I'm not going to stop running it, ever. It's just there, permanent, just like knots. And BIP 110 is already winning. SegWit activation, BIP 148, was also a UASM, user-activated soft fork, just like BIP 110. BIP 148 forced SegWit activation despite opposition from big miners, exchanges, some members of core. Remember, nodes hold the power, not the miners. Hardcore maxis like me, we're an intolerant minority, and we're flexing our muscles here. I don't believe this will be a chain split. Exchanges and miners will adapt because resisting means losing out. BIP 110 grandfathers old transactions, so no one's funds get locked out. And let me ask you this. Why would anyone fight to keep dust transactions and spam in blocks? This is a cost now, and it's going to be skyrocketing more and more as they compete with AI. There's no logical reason to fight for spam or dipbuck JPEGs kept on eternity on the blockchain. When I say I'm running BIP 110 on my node, I'm signaling with my node that I support this UASM. Every other node running it is doing the same thing, and we don't need that many nodes as an intolerant minority to win. If only a small percentage of nodes enforce BIP 110, the network tips in their favor because non-compliant blocks get ignored. Miners don't have the incentive to risk orphan blocks. If miners and exchanges signal early, this will be successful very quickly. It will take very little time or very little hash rate from miners to activate this also. And what is the end game? First off, BIP 110's success will demonstrate again that nodes hold power, not miners. This solidifies Bitcoin as unbreakable money, not to be fucked around with, and that we will resist and make it costly for spammers to be on the network. If you want crap kept in a permanent Dropbox for eternity, do it somewhere else. So no more letting cores and actions slide. We, the node runners, take back control. So what can you do? Start by running a node, then run BIP 110. It's straightforward, and there are resources online and videos on X and YouTube also. Signal your support. BIP 110 is temporary. Signaling for miners takes place in September. If BIP 110 is successful, it'll last 1 year. That will allow us to make sure it is both safe and remains effective. Stay sovereign and frosty out there, kids. Talk to you later.
Backpacker, what do you think about that?
Well, first of all, that video don't get you fired up. I don't know what is what, but that video is going to age like fine wine. Okay, that video is perfect. Actually, that video really just simply demonstrates exactly why you should be running it. Because number one, like I said when I was speaking earlier, is it's not a Dropbox. We're not some storage facility, right? He said the same thing. He says it's money. We're not a Dropbox, right? And quite frankly, if it's not broken, why are we trying to fix it? Why are we trying to alter what was put in place? I mean, it's basically saying, hey, Satoshi, guess what? You know, who cares what you said? Who cares what you did, what you created? We're going to screw it all up like, you know, like humans do on a lot of things. I feel like that video needs to be saved and pulled up whenever it need be for someone who does not know what to do. That video is a perfect example. Now, obviously, you can deep dive, you can go down the rabbit hole, you can, because there's layers to anything you look into. But if you want about sovereignty, I mean, it's pretty. If you want sovereignty, it's BIP 110. You can make shirts out of this. So yeah, BIP 110 for the win, bud.
Okay, so I support Bit 110. I don't like the spam on the network either. But I'm just gonna do a little devil's advocate kind of style. Um, isn't Bit 110 exactly what Knots is doing right now? I mean, aren't they allowing filters on the node? That's what the point of Knots is, to put filters on your node to keep the spam out of it. So I don't know how that crosses or whatnot. I'm just a little ignorant on that topic. Um, Core's whole thing is allow exactly what people want to put on the blockchain. And don't get me wrong, I don't support it, but it's for money, really. They say if you can afford the fee, you can put whatever you want on it. And I don't agree with it, not, but that's exactly why people are, they don't understand why core devs are like doing this, but it's exactly that. It's money. It's more money for them, more money for the miners. And I think it's bullshit, but that's just what they're thinking. That's what I wanted to throw on there on the other side. But yeah, if you're running a node, BIP 110. I don't, sounds good to me.
Yeah, I'm not running BIP 110 yet for being 100% transparent. I'm always late to that kind of stuff. Like it took me a while to I do run again knots. It took me a while to do it. I like to do a little bit more research, a little bit more learning about it because that was my concern. I'm a guy that likes free speech and I like Bitcoin because it's a freedom money and I don't want anybody censoring anything. But at the same time, I don't want anything but money in there. So it's like I'm having struggles with both because I don't want to be anybody to be censored, and I don't want anything on the blockchain besides money. But it's a protocol. It's not ran by a company. It's not ran. It's almost like a democracy. We vote with our nodes to figure out what's going to go through, and we're going to verify the transactions. So I'm not saying BIP 110 is the answer. It could be. I'm definitely looking into it more and more. I'm about 95% there. I'm not downloading it yet, but we'll see. And the reason I want to talk about it because I want you guys, everybody, you guys on the panel, our team, the Truth of Work podcast, but also people in the audience, to just be aware of it, do your research on it, and then go from there. Because I don't want anybody to be left in the dark. I'm not saying we got to sit there and talk about it all the time like certain people do. But we have to be keep abreast about stuff like this. You know what I mean? We just have to know what's going on and just try to do our best to be in the know.
And respectfully so, it's just a matter of, even if you stood with your conviction and you said you wanted to go to 110, right? You BIP 110 and you're running knots already, you're already convicted of knots, obviously. You can always change it. You don't have to like stick with one or the other. Like you can go 6 months down the road and be like, yeah, you know what? I didn't sign up for this. So then you can always change it. So that's one of the really lovely things about this whole situation in itself is that nothing is permanent. You can change and pivot in the matter of a click of a toggle, right?
Okay, Scotty, that's what I thought. I thought there was a filter on there.
Okay. So then if you're running knots, the latest version of knots, you already have BIP 110 included.
Well, then I stand corrected because I do have the latest version. The latest version is Backpacker. Keep going, brother.
No. You guys are good.
Let me see what the latest version is. It's and again, I'm going to show you guys this. Mine is really, really simple. I have 29.31, and this is all I have on mine.
Yeah,
that's it. That's all I have. Like when you see people running a bunch of stuff, that's all I have on mine right now. And I do have the latest one, 29.31. Scotty, is that am I running BIP 110 right now? I don't know.
I saw Grays was crazy, bro. It had like a whole like slew.
Everybody's I seen when Gray. I have a picture of Grays and what's name's on it too. Matthew Cratter. He's got a bunch of stuff that I don't know about it. So what I want to do is once a week I want to add one of these things to it, one of those, and just research it for the week. If you guys don't want to answer this, you don't have to answer it if it's too personal. But are you guys running nodes right now? And if you don't want to talk about it, you don't have to. And what are your feelings on it?
I'm getting my
I'm not.
start 9 by the end of the year. So I'm excited about that. And obviously, I'll just be transparent. So earlier this year, we ran into some financial situations with our dog George, some vet bills, and my lawnmower for my business, and a bunch of other expenditure. Pretty good size price tags, refrigerator. It's just like boom, 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 a bunch of things that added up. Just life. And so it pushed us back because we were actually supposed to already have had that, but we're gonna plan on getting that later on in the year, and then because we want to continue going at the rate of what we're going for buying sats right now. So, but yeah, probably going to be a start 9.
I'm not. I've been open on that. I have looked into building it, but with the prices of computers and start 9s right now, I just think the $1,200 I would stick into this would be more beneficial to put into sats, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's the tough part. It took me, again, I got into Bitcoin in February of 2021, and I'm always late to the game. So it took me almost 3 years to get me a node, 2 years and 10 months or whatever. And I was hearing videos about it and stuff like that. And back then, the start 9 was $500.
Yeah, I could justify that, but $1,200, that's no.
Yeah, I understand, man. I understand. And then now 29.31, Scotty. So I guess I am. So yeah, Scotty says 29.3. So I guess I am too. Yes, Lauren. So I'm
So
automatically.
that whole video is probably pictured towards core runners to download bit 10 to run it on top of their core.
Okay. So I thought that with Bitcoin not. See, this is how ignorant I am of this. I'm glad we're talking about this stuff because, this is stuff we want to know. I thought I had to, download Bitcoin Knots. Gray's the one that helped me push me towards it. I came standard. When I bought my start 9 back in 2023, standard was core. It just came with it. Everybody went to core, except the people that really knew and wanted to do some different stuff. But now, even again, start 9, they're kind of pushing Bitcoin Knots and Bit 110. That's another reason why I'm looking. I'm like, wow. And I trust Start 9 as a company. So I'm just like, wow. So yeah. So that's what's going on, guys. Just to stay in the loop. I got my PC built just before RAM went crazy. Luckily, it would cost
RAM
double
is
to make it.
insane.
Yeah. So that's the conundrum, because for a lot of people right now, guys, the economy is tough right now. I have pictures of both my Start servers on my Nostr page. The Start OS is free and runs perfectly on any old machine with enough memory.
You guys know I've been working on my financial app. I have a virtual machine of Start 9 running on my PC right now to do testing, and it runs pretty good on most hardware. It's really getting that SSD to the right, a big enough one, basically.
Okay. Well, again, even though I'm running a Bitcoin node, guys, and you guys aren't currently, I'm not that far ahead of you, because again, I guarantee you, when you guys start running a node, you guys will surpass me for the freaking little things up here, because I don't really have nothing. My node runs a virtual machine on a Linux PC. Okay.
Well, and here's the thing too, is that, because I've built computers in the past. Actually, me and Trent have had these conversations. I'm fairly knowledgeable within that space. I've been doing it for years, not as much now, but it was up for debate for me to whether I should just build my own rig, just because I'm kind of a control freak. I want to be able to, I can make it exactly how I want. I'm probably going to end up spending a little more, possibly, you know what I mean? But it'll kind of be something that's like tailored to what I like, and I can build it for longevity with, make sure it's upgradable, make sure the motherboard and all the processing and the RAM and everything could allow for expansion. I don't know if the Start 9 allows for expansion. I don't know what they're running under the hood. So
the SSD is upgradable. I know that for a fact, but the Start OS is free, like Scotty says. Like, I just downloaded it and I just ran it in a virtual machine. There would be no reason you couldn't drive it onto a USB and just like fresh OS install it.
Okay.
And that's what I would do.
That's interesting how it. Well, I mean, I guess it would make sense why they would make it so where it wasn't upgradable, or it was, because otherwise everybody would just upgrade them and not buy the new unit. I mean, it is a business at the end of the day.
It's the factor. It's the form factor. They're small.
That's true. That's true.
All right, so we're gonna Umbrel OS is free too. Okay. All right, so we're gonna switch off this subject for Trent, the editor, and and we're gonna focus. We're gonna talk about Michael Saylor and strategy, MSTR stretch. I'll talk about that for a second. Yes. So, what are you guys' thoughts? I don't have any videos pulled up or anything like that, but we all know what's been going on with strategy. They are down big right now. Stretch is not at 100 right now. Let's just say. What do you guys' thoughts about that whole thing right now? As of right now, I know what you think about a BTC backpacker, but as the latest of Stretch not being pegged to 100 right now, Bitcoin's price obviously being down, and Michael Saylor, his strategy stock price is down right now. And also, basically what he said about, hey, I didn't tell you not to sell. No, what he said, I didn't say I wasn't going to sell your Bitcoin. I told you guys not to sell your Bitcoin, whatever he said. And then, all that stuff. And then, some people think, oh, is he going to be margin call? Is he going to sell Bitcoin and all this other stuff? What do you guys think about Michael Saylor as of today versus what he was before? Is he the same? Is he different? And also, do you think they're going to have to start selling Bitcoin, and will that cause the market to crash? What are you guys' overall thoughts on that right now?
Oh my god! So I don't know, dude. Like he sold 32 Bitcoin or something like that. Everybody freaked out. So what happens when this
10% of the market went down?
Yeah. So what happens when this guy sells more? I just think it's hilarious. I don't know. I just seriously think it's funny. I'm not against inherently what he's doing, okay? Because I think he's, like I said, she's trying to build a layer 2, right? Like on top of Bitcoin to give optionality for the industry, okay? To each their own. That's the freedom of choice and the power of being able to do what you want to do. But do I think that Michael Saylor was different now than he was then? I would have to say absolutely, respectfully so. Now, I don't, maybe his core fundamentals, his core values might not, they're probably still the same. But when you hang around suits for a long enough time and you're in that space and you're shaking hands and mingling with these people, it's the barbershop term, right? Hang around the barbershop long enough, you're going to get a haircut, the whole nine. I think he's definitely fallen into that camp. I said a long time ago, I said, is he going to try to be a bank? And a lot of people, and I think there's several times where he said, no, I'm not going to try to be a bank. But I kind of find that hard to believe. I'm not going to say he's going to be like a full-blown bank, but he's adapting a lot of bank ideologies and bank, he's doing a lot of bank things. The great thing in a nutshell about the whole situation, the price is tanking. It's lost its peg. I don't necessarily think, because I don't think it can work. I'm going to try to be fair. I do think that it's a new idea. So there's going to be a lot of trials and tribulations and a lot of fudging around with things to try to keep that thing level where it needs to be. I can't speak on that. It's just, I really don't pay much attention to it because I just buy the underlying asset. Do I think I would like to see it work and be successful? Absolutely. I just think it brings diversity to Bitcoin. But I also don't like the fact that, and this kind of inherently comes with it, whether we like it or not, is that it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. It all comes back to, the core, the knots, the arguing with each other. And then you see this promise and wish, this bill of this hope of hey guys, come here, collect whatever percentage. I don't even freaking know because I really don't care. and then you see it tanking, and then it loses its peg, and then Bitcoin's going down right now, and then he's going to go sell some more Bitcoin, and the price is going to go lower, and then I'm just going to love it because I'm going to buy more. But that's me. So there's a lot of angles that you can come from on this, and I just don't. Okay, I would love to see it succeed. Yes, it's not for me. No, it's not good for the space in regards to people seeing uncertainty. Bitcoin's volatile enough, and then all of a sudden you're getting this promise, and that's not working. It's a double whammy. It ain't looking good. So I don't know. I think he's a suit at the end of the day, and I'll say the same for Maulers, but in a different way for Maulers, right? I trust Maulers a little more now, definitely more now than I do Sailor, especially because I use his product. You know what I mean? And he's very transparent with it for the most part. He still has some work he could do, but yeah. So go for it, Trent. Lay it down, bro. Lay it down.
Ouch is what I'll say. My IRA is not very happy today. I believe I bought it at 159, and what is it? $82 right now. So as a normie investor, that just snowballs. It gets lower, more people sell. Gets lower, more people sell. It's just a self-fulfilling prophecy. And that's just his MSTR. The strike is $25 under peg. Like that's not like it just slipped, guys. That's and it's unpegged because everybody's worried about the overlying debt that he owes to these people that he's bought into a asset, which we all know, but on a dip, which is good for a buyer, but is not good for someone who's trying to repay a debt. Because if you're trying to repay a debt and your asset goes down, you have to sell the asset to pay these people back, but you're selling at a loss. And people, and that's okay at small scales, but he's playing at a very large scale. And people are seeing that. They're like, oh, he sold. So what's he going to do to get me my next payment? What's he going to give me next week? Or what the week after that? Because it's not just a monthly dividend now. It's what, every 2 weeks? Yeah, every 2 weeks. It's just like I said with the MSTR part, it's a snowball. If he doesn't have a different way to pay these guys, he is going to have to sell Bitcoin, which is going to bring the price down, which he's going to have to sell even more. And then it's going to bring the price down and even more. And at almost 1 million Bitcoin, he could tank this price down to like $15,000, $20,000 himself. So is it good? Has he changed? I think he's always been scummy. He always is like, he always hasn't had an angle, like, trying to. At first, it was him trying to pump Bitcoin up to pump his own bags because he owns a lot privately, and that was before he even bought any. Before MicroStrategy was buying itself, he owns. I don't know if it's on record, but it's a lot.
17,000 last time.
That's a very old clip though. So personally, he's always just been a salesman to me, and we're basically being margin called.
Absolutely. Now that's some good points. And I want to double click on that with you specifically, Trent, because you own some of it and I do too. And normally when things are on sale, like it is today with Bitcoin, you want to buy more. My question to you, Trent, is number one, are you buying the dip MSTR? And number two, is the flywheel broken?
Flywheel's definitely broken. I would not suggest buying MSTR right now because there's no signal that the problem's fixed. It's just like you said, the flywheel effect. There's no signal that we're going back up.
Wow. So you're not buying the dip and the flywheel is broken. Let me make sure I got that right, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't buy MSTR to save my butt right now.
Wow. I'm the same way. I feel the exact same way. And I have MSTR and I bought a while back and it's on sale and I'm not even thinking about buying it. I'm thinking about, okay, please just let it go back up. I feel like a shitcoiner right now, honestly. You know how the shitcoiner is always saying,
Yep,
just
break even.
yeah, man. Then what do we tell them? Don't worry about it. Just take your loss. Oh, no, this is a little different.
No, I'm waiting for it too. At 159.5, I'm selling it.
Yes. So let's double click back on to what you said about them selling Bitcoin. This is a question for both you guys. So a lot of people will say, "Oh, well, they only own 4%. How would the price go up?" Well, I'd push back and say, "Well, yeah, they only own 4% only, but how much do they own of the available Bitcoin for sale? That's the question. Basically, how many?
Nobody else.
My Bitcoin is not available for sale. Yours is not. Yours is not. Nobody on this chat is. Some of ETFs they sell sometimes. How many's available? A couple million, maybe 3, 4, 5 million. I don't know. Not that many. So, at what rate do you think they'd have to sell? Because again, when they sold at 32, the market tanked a little bit. I don't know if it had to do with all of them, selling the 32. I think he was testing it out because I think he was doing some foreshadowing of what's going on. And then he just turned right back around in the next week or so. He bought 1550. So again, how much would he have to sell? What kind of increments and how would it tank the market, you think, based on that?
I'll go first. I don't think it's a financial issue. Like he could safely offload a million Bitcoin fairly easy over a few years. Because who did it? Gray, what is that? Gray, that ETF that from overseas, they did that last 2 summers ago, and they offloaded about
Grayscale?
no, yeah, Grayscale. They offloaded it was 6 figures of Bitcoin, and they tanked the market a little bit, but there's definitely safe ways to do it, but the dip's coming, or the tank would be coming off psychological reasons. Everybody has Sailor as the Bitcoin guy, and if the Bitcoin guy is selling, everybody's selling.
That's a
Yeah,
great point. Great point.
I think you summed it up pretty simple there. Yeah, it's a name. So he's a figurehead. He's literally the head of Bitcoin. If anybody didn't know anything about Bitcoin, like who Satoshi Nakamoto is, they're gonna think it was Michael Saylor, right? Yeah, if he moves Bitcoin and starts selling, I would agree that there's a huge psychological aspect to it, right? This is the biggest perma bull, and he's selling. What do we not know here? What's going on? So everybody's gonna start selling. I still think it works in tandem though with the increments. How he would choose to do that, in which manner he would be doing, whether that be private sales or
That would be the best way to do it.
I'm thinking that I would agree, and I'm thinking that him knowing enough.
There's no way he can do private sales.
I don't know.
Not Michael Saylor. He couldn't.
It's watched so like it's scrutinized.
Yeah, bro.
Someone would notice something moving.
Yeah, no way, not Saylor, man.
He wouldn't have to sell that much to cover the 11.5% from strike.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Yeah. I mean, there's so many moving parts to this. We did this, Jerry. You did this. I don't know if it was on here or you crunched the numbers somewhere, or we were watching a video. Where is his? He can go down to what? What was it, you guys? Was it like 20?
It was in the 35.
Was it 35? That's where we crab marketed for the longest period of time.
Yep.
Right. That was the biggest crab market ever in Bitcoin, or that's minus obviously the early years.
Now his average buys in the 60s, isn't it?
Something 70s like now. 70s, but it was.
Yeah. So that's something to take into account too. How far does he sell? How far does he play the game until he has to back off that and try to rebound the market?
And he could do that.
And that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So there's a
That'd be actually that's what BlackRock kind of does in the back end. They'll sell, they'll dip it, and then they'll take their buy on the dip, and then they'll shove the market back up. Sailor could do that himself.
yeah, and I feel like a lot of that is going on now. With a lot of this, there's all the liquidity, the amount of liquidity going in either direction right now is insane. And in this I guess you would say this level we're at right now. We both called this trend that 60K was massive.
Oh, it's a resistance level for
was
me. Crazy.
Yes, massive resistance level. And so yeah, and these guys want to come through, a couple of phone calls. Hey guys, let's push this real quick. Boom, bam, dump. Okay, rebound back up, and literally it's like that. They can play that game with the amount they have.
We were talking about private sales. They can do private sales, but it has to be reported on their quarters, their quarterly reports, because it's a publicly traded company. So it could be hidden for a little while, but it would show up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's just too big of a deal. All right, so last subject, because I'm going to try to wrap this all up in a bow with all the things we talked about. So we talked about Bitcoin Core, BIP 110, Sailor dumping Bitcoin, Bitcoin's price being down on sale and stuff like that. Saifedean Moose said this, I want to say a few months ago. He says, if Bitcoin goes back down to $15,000, Bitcoin has failed. He flat out said that. So my question to you guys is simple. Can Bitcoin fail? First part of the question. Second part is, what would it take to kill Bitcoin, if you will? Are we too far along in the game? And also, are you agreeing with Saifedean Moose? Is there a price that it can go down where we say, hey, once it gets down there, I'm not buying anymore. It's over. What can stop Bitcoin? Can it be stopped? And is there a price that Bitcoin can hit that it'll fail?
No, that's a tricky question. Because you can break it down into financially, you can break it down into globally, you can break it down into just the back theory, the game theory style. I think for normies, there is definitely a price that it can fall out of favor, but not fail. There's no failure. If Bitcoin can go back to Bitcoin can go back into, it could sell for $15. It's still technically just doing the same job it's always done. We're just, your units are bigger. And, but there's going to be a lot of people that won't touch it because, I think I'd hurt if it got down into the single or like the thousands. I've stuck tens of thousands of dollars into it, and my money's down. This is a fiat mindset. I get it, but we retire in fiat, and it would be a hit. Would I buy a shit ton more? Yeah, I would, but that's because I'm insane. Yeah, but like theoretically, it never can fail as long as the nodes keep going and the miners keep mining. I think that would probably be the hardest part, is with it being halved so much, keeping the miners in business, because they'll switch to AI as soon as it's not profitable.
So you just said you'd be worried if it got down to 1,000. For you personally, Trent, what would be the price for you where you say, "Uh-oh, I'm not buying anymore"? Is there a price?
No. There's no price, but there might be a what would you call it? A portfolio redistribution. I'd buy way less than I do now, but I think I still would hedge it.
All right, backpacker. Same question for you, sir. Questions for you, sir.
Yeah, man. I think we need to talk about the psychological aspect of this, the psychological warfare you'd be going through in your head in general within the whole industry. I'm talking nation states, countries, fucking everybody. First of all, to be straightforward, it would need to go down to under, the 10,000s. Like it needed to go under the 10,000s, like single, like, it would need to go to that for me to be like, kind of be like, okay, a little nervous here.
I'd
A
still
little
buy.
nervous. But yes, I would be buying my ass off, boy. Ooh, man, I'll tell you what. I mean, I would go crazy. I would seriously go insane. I'd be buying. But
It's
you
only a
can't
90% dip, dude.
it's only 90%. Like
Yeah, that's
it's
fine.
only there, right? And the thing is, but here's the thing. We know that if Bitcoin for whatever reason didn't work, okay, what's the other alternative? What, go buy a condo or a house, or go buy some silver and gold? I have zero interest in that. If that was the case, and let's just say if it's not going to fail, it's not. Then you figure something else out. Just go off grid. I don't know, but yeah, I don't. It would take some stupid low number. I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it can. I don't think it will happen, because for every buyer, there's going to be a seller. You can't forget the fundamentals of markets 101, right? You got some people with some pretty deep pockets. I'll have a limit order at 100. No, who had the limit order at 0? Jade Blockstream. What's his name? Adam Back.
That's awesome.
He has a buy order at like $1 or something like that for like the whole supply or something.
21 million?
Yeah, it was like some stupid number. Yes. Yeah. You can check it out. You can check it out. It's out there. It's some like crazy number. I was like, that's kind of gangster. I'm not going to lie. Makes us all want to kind of think, maybe we should be putting some fat buy orders. But I don't know if I answered your question. I'm unfazed by it, bro. I'm unfazed by any of that. If this went down, I'm grateful enough. I think a lot of us are pretty grateful enough. We got in at a good time. We got some pretty good buy positions. Even then, the buy positions, I wouldn't be fazed by it. I seriously wouldn't.
Well, I have a little different position. So some of you guys are going to think I'm crazy when I'm saying this, but here's the thing for me, okay? Am I fazed by this right here? Am I fazed by $59,556? No, not at all. A lot of people are. That's why it's at $59,556. So I'm not fazed by that. What I am fazed by, yeah, mine neither, man. Mine neither. What I am fazed by is all the attack vectors that I see, what's going on. Again, with the things that we talked about in this video today, I am worried about those things. Am I losing sleep over it? No, because I'm still buying for my proportion of my net worth. I'm buying a high amount per hour. So my actions are speaking louder than words. However, I do know that Bitcoin is ran, and I always say Bitcoin is money of the people, for the people, and by the people, which means it's ran by the people. And if people lose confidence in it, because you would think, oh, this person would never. The problem is you can't trust human beings. You can only trust human beings to be what they are, right? You got to look at what they're incentivized by. I would never, if you told me a year ago that Michael Saylor would be talking and doing the things that he was doing now, I wouldn't have believed it. You know what I mean? But people change. Would I like to say that we'd all stay crazy Bitcoin maxis? Yeah. But as you can see, I don't know if you saw this video, Trent. Did you see the Asian guy who sold all his Bitcoin a couple days ago?
No.
You saw it, Backpacker. We talked about this. He's a
I
big
watched it 3
YouTuber.
times.
Yeah, big guy. He's got like, how many followers he has?
I know who you're talking about, though. I saw this thumbnail.
When I saw it, Trent, I'm like, okay, he's joking. It's an April Fool's, whatever.
I almost clicked it.
Yeah. And I started watching. I go, this ain't real. So I turned it off. And then later on, everybody's showing. I'm like, he really sold all his Bitcoin? So that, plus all the attack vectors that we have, including the deep state and the Fed. Again, we are doing this because we want to end the Fed. Did we get a zap, sir? Sorry.
So we got but just to answer your question, 1.46 million subscribers, 12 videos. 12
Really?
videos, 1.46. His videos are averaging, and this is what's kind of weird. his videos are like, his first video was 1.4, next video was 1.8, 259K, 770,000. So, you know, he's getting a lot of views, small amount of videos. I don't know his background, but anyways, to answer your question, I don't mean to interrupt. That's
You don't
No,
pull
no,
those
no. That's good
numbers?
info.
What was that, Trent?
You don't pull those numbers?
If I did, I'd be buying a lot of
Trent
sats.
does, of course.
I
Of
do.
course. What's his name again?
His name is Tech Lead.
Yeah.
At as it's spelled at Tech Lead. Or you can just type in why I sold all my Bitcoin and it
He used to work
pops up.
for Google or one of the top, like he used to be a programmer. He's a very wealthy person before Bitcoin, so that's a luxury he can do.
Ex Google and ex Meta Tech.
Yeah.
This is the young man right here. Why I sold my Bitcoin. As you can see, I didn't get too far into the video. I did watch it a little bit, but then I was like, no way.
He's got to have more than 12 videos.
You saying 12 videos on Bitcoin?
It must be.
You must be mean 12 videos on Bitcoin. He's got way more
He's been
than-
going for years.
Yeah, so he gets big numbers. But anyways, so would I think he would do that? No. There's a lot of people that I wouldn't think that would do these things. But remember, Bitcoin is ran by people, right? And if enough attack vectors come in, again, if the wrong party comes in and says, you know what, we want to do socialism, and socialism is the exact opposite of Bitcoin. Did you want to say how many videos he had, Trent, BTC Backpacker?
So it's interesting because on his page it says 12 videos, but if you go to oldest, there's like a lot more videos. Well,
He purged his video list then.
yeah, he had to have purged his video list because the math doesn't math. It's not adding up. The numbers aren't adding up.
Yeah, he left YouTube for a while. He said he lost a lot of money because he was like kind of like embarrassed and stuff. But let's just say the wrong party. Let's say, I don't know. This is just a hypothetical. Obviously, it's a hypothetical. There's no, socialism or Marxism or communism in American politics. Of course not. It can't be. It's America. We wouldn't have communism. So anyways, let's just say there was a communist party that just said, hey, we want to come in and stop this Bitcoin thing, this dirty thing. I'm telling you, I tell people all the time, the central bank digital currency scare me. If these people, we are doing this to end the Fed. That's why I'm doing it. Part of it is to end the Fed. We need to end the Fed. Can we do it in our lifetime? I don't know. But the Fed is a cancer on this country. And if you have a communist party in America that comes in and goes, okay, well, we're going to give everybody free stuff. What does that mean? That means nobody has to work. We're going to, quote unquote, take from the rich and give to the poor. And they're not going to incentivize anybody to make anything, build anything, create jobs, or to go to work. It's just incentivized to stay home, get free stuff. And how are they going to give you free stuff? Well, again, they're going to print a bunch of money. They're going to overspend. And then they're going to go on the back end. Because there's only three ways that you can do that. Is either you borrow it, you tax it, or you print it. It's as simple as that. That's the only ways you do it. And when you do those things, guess what happens? The Fed says, okay, we're going to do that. We're going to debase the currency. And then instead of pretending like we're firefighters, because that's what they're doing, they're really arsonists. They set your house on fire from the back. They come around the front and say, hey, we're here to help. Download this app, and it'll give you, quote unquote, free money. And it'll be a social credit score catching up. And you think Bitcoin's adoption was, quote unquote, fast? Watch how fast, because everybody's going to be poor in America if we go to communism. And this is all hypothetical, of course. But if we have a central bank digital currency, a social credit score app on your phone that says, hey, we're going to give you free money every month, just do what we say, and they're going to give you money. How fast do you think that's going to be adopted versus Bitcoin? Much faster.
Because it's mandatory.
Exactly. It's mandatory. So not only can you not have a Bitcoin wallet, it'll be illegal. The exchanges, they're going to shut them down because of regulatory things. Miners are going to get shut down, all these things. Again, that can happen if we vote wrong in politics and also voting wrong with the stuff that we talked about earlier. Now, again, I'm looking at the price of $59,000. I'm buying every hour on the hour. I'm very convicted in what I'm doing. And I probably will buy and go down with the ship. Like, there's probably no price I would stop buying unless we, honestly, if we got under $1,000, then I'd say, okay, well, I wouldn't buy anymore. I wouldn't probably sell it. I'd just be like, okay, I lost.
You'd have so much already, you'd be okay.
Yeah. And yeah, exactly. I wouldn't buy any more. And then I just say, okay, well, what else am I going to do now? You know, so that long-winded story, do I think Bitcoin can be stopped? Yes. Am I worried about it? No. But I always keep it on the front of my mind. Just as a reminder, and I say this to you guys out loud, Bitcoin is not an inevitable thing. We have to keep working at it every single day. It's like brushing your teeth, washing your face, lifting weights. We got to make sure we work out our network because, again, if we don't work on it and protect it, somebody will come and destroy it and take it from us. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We really, really appreciate you guys. BTC Backpacker, where can everybody find you, sir?
You can find me at BTC Backpacker on X, BTC Backpacker on Primal, Noster, and BTC Backpacker on YouTube.
When did you get an X?
Sorry, guys. This is a off the video. This is a non-recorded part of the video.
I'm the editor. I can say what I want.
I've had an X for a while. I don't use that. It's just there in the background.
I have an X too. Don't worry about it.
Don't hold it against me, guys.
I am at the Bitcoin Technician at YouTube and Off Ramp Radio at YouTube also.
Perfect. And my name is Jerry, and you can find me at Jerry Loves Freedom. I do a podcast every week on my show, and yeah, I got another platform I use called Bumble, starts with an R. Go over there, and I'm on X as well, Noster, and all that stuff. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Hope you guys had a good weekend. We'll see you this week. And remember, guys, nothing's guaranteed, and the future is on its way. Now, that's guaranteed. The future is on its way. And if you understand and know where this thing is going, at 1,679 units per $1, I would suggest you would think about buying as much as you can while you still can. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll see you on the next one. And until then, and as you guys know, we love each and every one of you, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace and love, guys.